Lake Conroe, I caught all those big fish on a small, hard bottom spot. And, you know, I've spent a lot of time looking at my HDS 12s with my structure scan on Lake Guntersville, all the Tennessee River lakes. You know, that's where I grew up. And, you know, from when the fish move off the spawn and they're moving out to deeper water, you know, those fish, they set up on hard bottom spots. And I've learned that growing up at Guntersville and, you know, looking at my graphs, and I always find these schools of fish, and you can tell, you know, when you're idling on my DownScan and structure scan, you can tell where the hard bottom spots are, and that's where always those fish show up. And at Conroe, it was no different. You know, it was a small hard bottom spot, and, you know, the big shad, I feel like, get on those places, you know, probably for the shad spawn, and that's just where those fish can feed. You know, crawdads, all their forage use those hard bottom spots. And, you know, I'm not a rocket science by any means, but I've seen it so many times. Those fish don't ever set up on soft bottom, and it's always some kind of rock or shell and things like that where those big fish show up. So, you know, pay attention to your structure scan, your down scan, and you can always tell where the hard bottom is on a spot, and that's where you're going to find the big fish. So when I was fishing that point at Lake Conroe, you know, I happened to figure out the cast. And anytime you're fishing a point or a spot, there's always going to be a single cast that's going to be better than, you know, just making a cast here, a cast there, you know. But it takes a while to find that cast. But when I'm looking, let's say on any lake, I know points are just an awesome spot to catch fish. And, you know, when I'm running my structure scan and my down scan, I'm looking for fish. That's what I look for when I'm idling out deeper. I usually don't look for bait. I don't look for, you know, if I look for brush, I'm looking for fish in the brush. And that's one thing to pay attention to when you're idling around. It doesn't matter if you're idling the ledges, points, look for individual fish. And you can, I mean, I count the number of fish on my down scan and see, oh, there's 2 or 3 or 4 fish on this spot, and you can tell how big they are. So that's the small things that I do that make a big difference, and it'll save you a lot of time and it'll help you catch more fish.